Hey everyone, and welcome back to Science Simplified. And today we're going to talk about control and coordination in living organisms. This topic is vital for all you IGCSE and grade 10 students out there. We'll cover everything from chemical and nervous coordination to the human nervous system, neurons, reflex actions, and receptors like the eyes and ears. So let's get started. So why is coordination important in living organisms? Well, coordination helps organisms respond to changes in their environment and maintain internal stability, ensuring survival and proper functioning. There are two types of coordination: the chemical coordination and nervous coordination. Let's start with the chemical coordination. This involves signaling of molecules, known as hormones, released by special cells or glands. Hormones travel through the bloodstream to target organs and tissues, regulating various bodily functions like growth, metabolism, and reproduction. Example: the pancreas releases insulin, which helps regulate blood sugar levels. Hormones act more slowly than nervous signals but have longer lasting effects. They ensure that different parts of the body work together harmoniously. Now let's talk about nervous coordination. This involves neurons, which are specialized cells that transmit electrical signals throughout the body. Nervous coordination is much faster than chemical coordination, allowing for quick responses to stimuli. Touching a hard surface and quickly pulling your hand away is an example of such coordination. Neurons transmit signals rapidly, enabling immediate responses to changes in the environment. Human nervous system. The human nervous system is divided into two parts: the central nervous system, or CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. The CNS consists of the brain and spinal cord, while the PNS includes all the nerves that branch out from the spinal cord and connect to the rest of the body. Now let's discuss about the central nervous system in more detail. The brain. It has several components. For example, the parietal lobe, the middle part of the brain. The parietal lobe helps a person identify objects. Next, occipital lobe. The occipital lobe is the back part of the brain that is involved with vision. The next part is the cerebellum. The cerebellum plays a major role in motor movement, regulation, and balance control. The next is our spinal cord, or the brainstem. The spinal cord's main purpose is to carry nerve signals throughout our body. The next is our temporal lobe. Temporal lobes are involved in short-term memory, speech, music, rhythm, and some degree of smell recognition. The frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is the part of the brain that controls high-level cognitive skills and primary motor functions. It is also the cerebrum of the brain. Neurons and reflex actions. Neurons are the building blocks of nervous system. They consist of a cell body, dendrites which receive signals, and an axon which sends signals. Structure of a neuron. Neurons transmit electrical impulses through a process called action potential. When a neuron is stimulated, it generates an electrical signal that travels along its axon to communicate with other neurons, muscles, or glands. Action potential. Now let's dive deeper into the action potential. It's a process by which neurons send electrical signals. The resting potential. In a resting state, a neuron has a negative charge inside the cell membrane compared to the outside. This difference in change is maintained by the sodium-potassium pump, which actively transports sodium Na+ out of the cell and potassium K+ into the cell. The sodium-potassium pump. Sodium-potassium pump moves 3 sodium ions out for every 2 potassium ions it brings in, keeping the inside of the neuron negatively charged. Depolarization. When a neuron is stimulated, sodium channels open, allowing sodium ions to rush into the cell. This influx of positive ions causes the inside of the neuron to become more positive, a process called depolarization. Sodium ions entering the neuron. As sodium ions enter, the membrane potential becomes less negative and eventually turns positive. Action potential. If the stimulus is strong enough and depolarization reaches a certain threshold, an action potential is triggered. This is an all or nothing response, meaning it either happens completely or not at all. The action potential threshold. Once the threshold is reached, the action potential travels down the axon like a wave. Repolarization. After the peak of the action potential, sodium channel closes and potassium channels open. Potassium ions leave the cell, restoring the negative charge inside the neuron. This process is called repolarization. Potassium ions leaving the neuron. Potassium ions exit, returning the inside of the neuron to a negative charge. Hyperpolarization and return to the resting potential. Sometimes the membrane potential becomes slightly more negative than the resting potential, a state called hyperpolarization. The sodium-potassium pump then restores the resting potential. Neuron returning to resting potential. The sodium-potassium pumps works to bring the neuron back to its resting state. The reflex actions. Reflex actions are quick, involuntary responses to the stimuli. They are controlled by reflex arcs, which are neural pathways that bypass the brain for faster responses. Example: the knee jerk reflex. When the knee is tapped, sensory neurons send a signal to the spinal cord, which immediately sends a signal back to the muscle to contract, causes the leg to kick. Receptors of the human body. Receptors are specialized cells that detect stimuli from the environment and send signals to the nervous system. Let's focus on 2 specific receptors: the eyes and the ears. Structures and function of the eye. The eye is a complex organ responsible for vision. Light enters the eye through the eyepiece or the eye lenses. First of all, we got sclera. The sclera is located on the outer layer of the eye near the cornea and holds the shape of the eyeball through its strong fibers. Next up, we got cornea. The cornea controls the amount of light that enters the eye and focuses the received light. It is located in the front of the eye, covering the pupil, iris, and the interior chamber. Lens. The lens and the crystalline lens are the same in the eye's anatomy, with the main purpose of focusing light onto the retina. Pupil. The pupil located in the center of the eye and covered by the cornea allows light to enter the eye and refocus in the retina by the lens, forming images. Next up, we got the iris, the colored part of your eye. The iris, located behind the cornea and in front of the crystalline lens, controls the size of the pupil and regulates the amount of light entering the eye. It's a part of the eye from where you get your color, eye color. Some people have brown, some people have blue, and even rarer, the green eyes shades. The most common is the black. Vitreous body. The vitreous body is a gel-filled substance that protects the eye's parts from the lens to the retina. Retina. The retina located at the back of the eye receives light passing through the lens and converts it into visual images. Retinal blood vessels. The retinal vessels supply blood to inner retinal neurons, while the choriocapillaries beneath the retinal pigment epithelium provides oxygen to the photoreceptor layer through diffusion. Optic nerve. The optic nerve, consisting of millions of nerve fibers, carries messages to the eyes, from the eyes to the brain, and extends directly from the back of the eyes, beginning at the optic disc. Hyaloid canal. The hyaloid canal has the hyaloid artery that supplies blood to the developing lens. Common vision problems include myopia, nearsightedness, hyperopia, farsightedness, and astigmatism, which can often be corrected with glass or contact lenses. Structure and function of the air. The air is responsible for hearing and balance. Sound waves enter the air canal, causing the eardrum to vibrate. These vibrations are transmitted through the ossicles, the tiny bones in the middle ear, to the cochlea in the inner ear. The cochlea converts these vibrations into the electrical signals, which are sent to the brain via the auditory nerve. Sound waves traveling through the air. The air contains structures called the semicircular canals, which help maintain balance by detecting changes in head position and movement. Conclusion. In summary, control and coordination are essential for the proper functioning of living organisms. Chemical coordination involves hormones that regulate long-term processes, while nervous coordination involves rapid, short-term responses to neurons. The human nervous system, composed of the CNS and the PNS, plays a vital role in processing information and controlling responses. Receptors like the eyes and the ears detect stimuli and send signals to the brain, allowing us to see, hear, and maintain balance. Fun facts. Now for some fun facts. Facts: fast signals. Neurons can transmit signals at a speed of up to 120 meters per second. That's too fast, isn't it? Brain power. Your brain generates through enough electricity to power a small light bulb. Whoa! Sensitive ears. The human ear can detect sounds as quiet as 20 decibels and as loud as 120 decibels without damage. Blinking. You blink about 20 times per minute, which helps keep your eye moist and clean. Next time, you have to keep a sight at it. Isn't the human body amazing? I hope this video has helped you understand control and coordination better. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more simplified science videos. Until next time, stay curious. Thanks for watching. Credits written and presented by Born to Lead, or aka B2L.